Hans Niemann has been through a lot. As you probably know, he was involved in a lot of drama with world champion Magnus Carlsen because he accused him of cheating in very important tournaments. His career was really affected, and nowadays he's kind of under the radar. But he still has some crazy underrated games no one seems to talk about, and this is one of them. It was played in 2020, way before this drama, and Niemann was still an international master, but let me tell you, here he just pulled a ridiculous, just stupid combination. So, yeah, this just proves that if the guy didn't cheat, he's just a genius. Anyways, Hans Niemann had the white pieces, and he was facing a strong international master from Denmark, Carlsen. He decided to start the game with c4, and after he thinks d4 and d5, we arrive at the queen's gambit declined, and Hans Niemann is certainly very happy with this, because as we can see by the database, this is one of his favorite openings. And actually the other game I covered on the channel with him before was also on this opening, so, you know, he certainly knows what he's doing here. Now the game continued in a very standard fashion. You have knight to c3, knight f6, knight f3 and bishop to e7, both sides just normally developing their pieces, but here Niemann decides to exchange some pawns in the center. Yafsi takes on d5, he takes on d5, bishop to d5, he develops this bishop here, maybe it becomes annoying someday, and meanwhile Black just decides to put his king to safety and castles. We have e3, c6, bishop to d3, and now Black goes h6 and starts kicking Hans' bishop. He puts it on h4, and Black continues development again, bishop to e6, and not a lot is happening so far, but just you wait, because the game is about to catch fire. Because Niemann here goes queen to c2, Black continues development, knight b to e7, but now Niemann goes h3, and what does he want with h3? Well, he's not really stopping bishop to g4, he actually is preparing g4 himself, and after g4, then g5, and he's looking to start an attack here on the king side, and yeah, he's gonna castle queenside. The game is just gonna be a complete mess. And that's exactly what happens, because now Black goes a5 and starts a counterattack himself, because, you know, sooner or later Niemann will have to castle queenside, and then, you know, Black will just have his pawns ready to rip open his defenses. Now Niemann continues with his plan, we have g4, and Black first plays rook e8. Perhaps this rook will be more useful on this file. Now Niemann here also moves the rook, he plays rook to g1, preparing for some action here on the king side. Now Black continues pushing, we have a4, and now Niemann goes for it, he plays g5, and again, it's about to be a complete mess. Black takes, we have h6 on g5. Now Niemann retains with the knight, and perhaps he's threatening some nasty stuff here on h7, so Black just plays it safe, plays knight to f8 and overprotects this square. Now Niemann continues his avalanche of pawns and just plays f4, but now Black here finds a very nice defensive resource and plays knight to e4, even though e4 is protected by like 1, 2, 3, 4 white pieces, right? Everyone can take, but actually it wouldn't be a very good idea to take, because if you take this way with this knight, well, your bishop is kinda hanging with check, so that's not really an option. And if you decide to take, for example, with the knight, after pawn takes and bishop takes, this isn't really ideal for white, because it doesn't really have any way to crash through, and you know, with this very powerful black bishop and these very menacing black pawns, the white position is going to be very difficult to play, and it's just going to be very easy for black to manage this attack. And so Niemann, seeing this, doesn't go into knight takes, or actually doesn't take the knight at all, and in this position he goes for the best move and castles. Now again, the game, I told you, is about to catch fire, and I didn't lie to you, because now that Hans Niemann castled, Black seizes his opportunity immediately and goes a3, looking to open everything as soon as he can. Now Hans Niemann says no, and plays b3, trying to shut down everything. And now we go into quite the forcing line. We have knight takes on c3, queen is forced to take, but now Black's bishop lands on f6, and this is just a perfect square for this bishop, because as you can see, it pins this pawn to the queen, right? So Black is threatening to play c5 and, you know, just rip everything open. So looks like Black is doing very good. However, Hans Niemann has calculated something amazing. Something amazing is coming, and Black has no idea about it, and it kind of will cost him the game. Because here, Niemann plays f5, kicks this dark square bishop, you have bishop to d7, but now e4, and kind of seems it allows c5, because of course you cannot take this pawn, otherwise your queen is just dead. And if you try taking with the queen, well, rook's just gonna slide to c8, and yeah, bye bye queen as well. She would be pinned. So in this position, Niemann played e5, but black just got confused here because he thought, what? Can't I just take here? And he took on d4. And the problem with taking on d4 for Niemann, supposedly, is that he can't take the bishop, otherwise if he takes the bishop, his queen is just dead. However, in this position, believe it or not, Hans Niemann just took the bishop. He just took the bishop, like, what? The international master here thought for like 20 minutes, like, what the hell is this international master doing? He forgot his queen is hanging. But after Carly thought for a while, he played queen takes on f6. And yeah, this is just amazing, because in this position, if Carly had taken Hans Niemann's queen, he was actually about to be checkmated. And it's crazy, but try to find the combination that wins here for Hans Niemann. And by the way, he actually saw this combination from far, far away, because back here, all these moves, he was playing them instantly. So the guy is just insane. But okay, trying to figure out for black what would happen had he taken Niemann's queen. And yeah, I'll give you a couple of seconds. Hope you managed to find it. It's just a stupid combination. Okay, so this is definitely a very tough combination to spot in a real game. But here, after sacrificing the queen, Hans Niemann can actually sacrifice the knight. And the game is pretty much over for black. Because, for example, if he takes the knight, this is just straight up mate. Like, the rook takes the pawn, the bishop covers this pawn, and the black king is just completely corralled here on f7, and he's just dead. Like, this just works complete perfection. It's just amazing. And if he doesn't take the knight, what else is he gonna do? Niemann is just threatening rook takes g7. This, for example, if he makes a random move, just rook takes g7 is mate, because the knight covers h8. Again, everything working, like, wow, what the hell? And yeah, and black will be able to do nothing. Like, the best move suggested by the computer is queen takes on f6, but after bishop takes on f6, black really is just down a piece, you know, he's just gonna suffer a very horrible attack, so the game will just be over. And so in the game, after some thought, black finally realized that he couldn't take Niemann's queen as much as he wanted to, and he was forced to take this pawn here on f6. However, now when you count the material, Niemann just got a bishop for nothing, so he's just a completely clean piece. It's just a matter of time till he organizes his defenses on his king, and then he'll just enjoy a queen piece up and convert the game. So that was the main part of the game I wanted to show, but I'm gonna quickly go over how he managed to convert. Here his queen is under attack, so he played queen to d2. Now black uses that the file is open, then plays rook a to c8, checks the white king. We have king to b1, and now black starts getting some material back. We have bishop takes on f5, and Niemann here plays knight f3. Best move, because it attacks the black queen. Now the bishop is defended, and this bishop is sort of hanging by a thread. So black has to go for some threads. We have bishop takes on d3, queen takes on d3, but now look at white's pieces working super harmonically. The queen protects the knight, that protects the bishop, that attacks black's queen. Everything just perfect. Black here plays queen to f4, perhaps looking to infiltrate into Niemann's camp, but here just rook g4. It's the black queen, queen goes to e3, but now Niemann calls the bluff and plays rook takes on d4, just starts taking pawns of his own. Now here black continues with knight g6, hits this bishop, so Niemann plays bishop to g5, hits the black queen, and now queen f2. But now black isn't bluffing anymore, now he's really threatening to play rook to e2, and infiltrate and murder Niemann. So wouldn't be very good. Niemann just plays bishop to e2, completely locks up the file here, but Corley plays rook to e2 anyway, and Niemann has to be careful. But now Niemann goes into quite a forcing variation. He plays rook takes on d5, but now knight f5. And again, the bishop can't move, because then rook to b2, and it's just mate here. For example, if bishop takes on f4, this would just end very bad for Niemann, because after some checks, there would be this very annoying checkmate here, here on b2. So, not really ideal. After that queen sacrifice brilliancy, losing in such a fashion would be kind of a shame. So after knight to f4, Niemann had foreseen all of this, and he just played queen to f5, and now he's threatening to win the rook. Sure, black can win this rook, but then this rook falls with check, and the black king wouldn't really have a lot of fun there. So in the game, black continued with knight to e6, he blocked his diagonal, but Niemann continues putting in the pressure. You have rook to d7, now putting pressure on this very weak f7 square. Black had to play rook f8, defending, but now the rook goes back, and after knight to c7 attacking the rook, now Niemann's idea becomes clear. He plays knight to g5, he's threatening mate, and he also opened this file for the queen, so this basically forces a trade. We have queen takes on f5, rook takes on f5, but it isn't over yet, because now that the rook is no longer on the d file, the black rook slides in, and all of a sudden there's this very annoying pin on the d file. Niemann has to go king to c1, protecting the bishop, but now f6. This pawn here on f7 was hanging, so black just plays f6, kicks this sort of annoying Niemann's knight, and also defends the pawn. You have knight f3, but now knight to d5, and black is quite evil, because again, the game is still not over. If Niemann continues with a random move, all of a sudden g6, and now black is the one with the irony, because we take a look at Niemann's rook, and where the hell is he going? Like, he legitimately can't move, so the rook would just be trapped, and Niemann wouldn't win the game anymore, and this would just be another tragedy. So, in the game, Niemann saw this and he played knight to d4, freeing some squares for his rook, and also decoying this annoying rook here on the e file. So the rook goes to h2, hits this pawn here on h3. Niemann plays rook f3, just defending. Black plays knight to e7, hitting Niemann's rook. Niemann goes knight to c2. Now we have rook to c8, pinning the knight, but now b4, and Niemann is actually making some progress, because this once annoying a3 pawn is all of a sudden becoming a weakness, and with this line open, the rook is just gonna slide in and take it. But not so fast, because here black plays knight to d5, and yeah, since the knight here is pinned, now black is also to get in with some tricks of his own, because the bishop wouldn't be able to take as well, because then the rook just slides in, and yeah, again, still kind of tricky. So here, Niemann just played king to b1 and avoided this pin here, but now knight to b6 and the tricks continue. For example, if rook takes on a3, Niemann's advantage is basically gone, because now rook goes back to d8, pins this bishop, so the king has to go to c1 to protect, but now knight to c4, and all of a sudden there's this fork here. So not really good, black would get his piece back, and again, Niemann would no longer win. And so in the game after knight to b6, Niemann decided to take with the knight, because, okay, black tried to go for the same thing, we have rook to d8, but after king to c1 there's no knight to c4, because it's conveniently protected by the knight. So black can't really do much, he just plays king f7, starts improving his king. We have knight to c2, which, okay, surely leaves c4 unprotected, so the knight just slides in, but now just bishop to e1, and everything is protected, and yeah, Niemann goes for some trades. We have rook takes on d1, king takes on d1, and b5, just fixing this kind of annoying knight. However, it isn't really enough to win the game, because Niemann here plays a3, now this pawn is protected by the rook. We have knight to b2, black starts giving some pity checks, but it doesn't do anything. We just have king to c1, knight goes back to c4, but yeah, now just knight to d5, Niemann starts to go after black's weak b5 pawn. There's really not a lot he can do. We have wage 1, sure, he tries going after this bishop, he pins it, right? So king is forced to d1, can't really go to d2 because the knight is there. Black goes knight to d6, just protecting this b5 pawn, but now Niemann starts activating his king, and soon it's about to be over. Black tries going for d5, trying to gain some space and get his pawns moving. However, again, nothing much he can do. We just have rook to e3, f5, and Niemann infiltrates. We have rook to e5. Black tries to take something, clearing up his way for the pawns, but it won't really work. After rook to d5, this knight is pressured, and he's just really supporting all of black's camp. So here black tries giving a check. We have king to d1. Now knight to c4, and wait, all of a sudden there's some counterplay. If Niemann just rushes and takes this pawn on b5, knight to b2. king is completely cut off, so he has to go to c1, but now knight to d3 and there's a fork here. Again, the king can't go up, so he'd have to go back to d1, but now it's just a draw here. So Niemann still has to be careful. He still can't sleep on the wheel. But a guy who manages to spot such a queen sacrifice like the one we saw earlier isn't really a guy to sleep at the wheel. So here Niemann just takes this pawn on here on f5 with a check, and after the king moves, he plays rook to f3 and he does this rook maneuver, so the rook protects the d3 square. So now after knight to b2, king to c1, the knight no longer has access to the d3 square. So yeah, this maneuver no longer works. And Blank's counterplay is really becoming extinct because he retries g4, attacking the rook. After rook to c3, knight to e5, not a lot he can do. We have bishop to g3, forking, Black's pieces. So Black goes rook h3, pinning the bishop to the rook. But after knight to e2, just protecting everything, Black gave a check. But after king to c2, knight to c4 and a4, Black had enough and just resigned. As you can see, he has 40 minutes. He's 40 minutes down on Hans Niemann and in a completely losing position. This is like +8 for white because Niemann is just gonna take this pawn and roll it up the board, and there's literally nothing Black can do. Also, he can't really take this pawn because the knight is just hanging. So yeah, he just had enough and resigned. But that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed this completely unreal queen sacrifice in this game by Hans Niemann. There's not really much attention to some of his underrated games, and okay, sure, a lot of people defend that he's a cheater and so on, but well, innocent until proven guilty, I guess. Sure, he cheated on online chess before, but we really cannot be sure. But okay, again, that was it. And if you watched this far, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps a ton. And yeah, catch you in the next one. Bye.